Alright, good afternoon everybody. My name is Nick Poss. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about scuba diving and particularly masks and that. So is anyone here a certified scuba diver? No? Not at all? Alright, well then I'm going to highly encourage you to learn. It's a lot of fun. Now this is primarily based around mask skills and what to do with them and why it's important. Over there. So bad masks can cause a lot of issues when you're diving. They do a lot more than just let you see. They give you comfort and depth perception, all sorts of stuff like that. Now, one big thing is if you have a problem with it, is it affects your safety, because you can easily get distracted. I mean, these things are stuck on your face, and there's no avoiding it. If it starts to leak, or you start to get fogged or anything like that, it can take away a lot of your concentration on a lot of important things, such as how long you've been underwater, which it plays a big role on how fast you on gas nitrogen. I'm sure you've all heard of the bends before and all sorts of stuff like that. It can also affect, you don't know how deep you are, if you're bumping into stuff on the bottom or damaging anything. So having a good clear mask has a lot to do with your safety and the reef safety or anything else you're on at that time. The other thing is, I kind of wanted to lean this towards scientific diving, so goal-oriented diving where you'd be, gathering research or data or something along those lines. Well, if you're distracted by your mask the entire time, it's going to stress you out. You're going to start breathing heavier. You're going to have less air in your tank because you're breathing it down a lot faster and things like that. So you're going to have a lot of lack of success when you're doing your research diving. Then, just work safely. Okay. So to do this and prevent any of this stuff from happening, one major thing is to make sure you have a properly fitting mask. And a lot of times you'll go to a store, you'll see they'll have whole aisle filled with masks and stuff like that, and some people do it, or people will buy it online. You can't try it and see if it fits. So the first thing you need to do is make sure is fitting it, and then from there, practicing. So doing your different mask clears, because believe it or not, when you're in the water, it's very simple to get. If this thing were to fill completely with water, it's very simple to actually clear it all out, and we'll go over that a little bit later. So mask fit. First thing you're going to want to do is do the preliminary fit test. And with that is you're going to ignore the strap at this point. All you're going to do, put it up to your face, and so notice if there's any major spots where it's bowing out, or say this goes too far down on your lip, or if you had that regulator in your mouth, it would start to curl up and let water leak in or something along those lines, or it's just basically uncomfortable. There's a pressure point, something bumping into your head. Then you're going to go, then a sniff test, which I'll go over in just a second. It's not just smell if your mask smells bad. And then compatibility checks of different features. It's going to be something along tint or something along those lines. Now, preliminary check. So I'm going to put this up to my face, and I know this mask fits me because it's one I use, but I'm going to look for things along the lines of, like I said, bumping into your lip or pressure points or anything that hurts. Okay, cool. And obviously leak points. So if it's too curved for your face and it's bowing out, because I got a flat face, so I know that's a problem with me sometimes. Something along those lines. Okay. And then pressure points, like I said. Because when you're underwater, you're going to be building a lot of pressure. If it's pushing on there, and if, say the bridge of this bumps into your forehead, you're going to feel it, and it's not going to be fun because it's going to wear on you and get ruined on you. Alright, sniff test. Now this is how we kind of check for little pinhole leaks. So I put this up to my face, then I inhale with my nose and then hold my breath. I'm not going to keep breathing in, I'm just going to breathe in and hold my breath. Because then what it should do is stick on your face. Kind of like that. So if it were to not, and if I were to not hold my breath like I just did and blow out or have anything like that and it falls off, if air, that's because air's getting in there. And if air's getting in there, water's going to get in there. Alright? And then again, pressure points. Okay. Last thing you should check is features. And that's just cosmetic things or tint or something along those lines. I'll kind of hand these out if you like. You can sort of see that the silicones are different pressures. This is a lot softer, that's a lot more rigid. That could play along with, again, when you're diving down, the deeper you go, that softer mask is going to be more likely to push in versus that more stiffer silicone masks. Also, some people don't like the black skirts. They think it acts like blinders or makes it reduce visibility. And then volume of the mask. So if that mask was really, really big and you did fill it with water, when it comes to clear, it's a lot more you got to clear. So those are both low volume masks where you don't have to have use as much air as I'll go into in a second when it comes to clearing. All right? And then, there's color, regular style preferences, or anything along those lines. All right. So let's get a little bit. Okay, mask clear. So if I can get one of those back for just 1 second, doesn't matter which one. Okay, thank you. So it comes to the mask clear. Now, if you ever take your open water scuba class, this is going to be one of the first skills you'll ever learn. And it's one of the most important, because if you ever get fog in your mask, you need to clear it out. You'll be doing just the exact same thing. So, I'm not going to put it actually on my face so you can actually hear I'm talking, and I already have a hoarse voice. Last thing I need to do is make it nasally. So what you would do is you'd have this on, all right, breathing normally, going about your dive. You start smiling, you get the smile line, and it starts to leak in and fill up. So all you got to do is take your hand, you're going to make a pressure point right up at the top, right there. All right? And from there, I'm going to start blowing out of my nose. Now what's going to happen there is as I blow into the bottom of this with my nose, that air is going to rise to the top. And as it does that, it's going to displace that water. So as that water gets displaced, it's going to push right out of the bottom. You have the hand right there. Now some people like to look up at the same time and do it, so it kind of pushes it there. It's all preference, but with a little bit of practice, you can definitely make it very easy. Right? Okay. And then once you have that completely clear, you get all the water out, all you got to do is equalize. Because like I said, there's that pressure. As you're going down, that gas that's inside the mask is constantly compressing. All right, so as it does that, it's going to feel like the mask is sucking onto your face, and that can get that pressure pulling or start feeling uncomfortable. So all you got to do is, if it's a little bit too tight, just add a little bit more air. It'll pump through your nose. That's it. Very simple. All right, and the best thing you can do is practice. Notice with a lot of my students, the first time they ever come out and try doing this, that's the skill that they struggle the most with, because they try and do the exhale, they realize, oh, there's still half the water in there, and kind of freaks out because no one likes to have that water around their nose. So what they don't realize is that to get the rest of it out, all you do is take another breath in through your regulator, blow back out through your nose, and then clear the rest out. With practice, you'll be able to get it all out with one exhale. And also a big thing is your buoyancy. So when you're scuba diving, a lot of people who haven't done it yet don't realize that your breath has a lot to do with how you're riding in the water. So as I inhale, that gas is compressing that solid cylinder on your back, goes into the soft containers of your lungs, which expands, makes you more buoyant, go up and down. So that's one thing you got to work with a lot. When people are clearing their masks, they're suddenly exhaling a lot, and then that sometimes makes them fall and bump into something along those lines. And that creates safety issues and comfort issues too. So with a little bit of practice, you can learn to do it in your normal breathing rhythm. So you might hold off for that 1 second, and you know, all right, I'm going to exhale, so I know this is when I'm going to have that normal, natural decrease in buoyancy. So I'm going to go ahead and do it now when I'm expecting it. So that's where the practice really comes into play. All right? You'll see this one too. Let's see it again. Okay. So it's going up one and down now. Okay, cool. So from here, what can we do? We understand how to fit the mask, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. When we're ready to fit, sniff test, and then compatibility check. Just making sure you have all the features, all the things, doodads that you want on. Then how to clear the mask. Don't remember, it's establishing that pressure point. Exhaling, looking up, making sure you're equalized, doing that, and then practice, practice, practice. Alrighty. Cool. So, from there, does anyone have any questions?
How long ago did you learn how to scuba dive?
I learned how to scuba dive about 7 years, and I've been instructing the last 3. So if you all have any desire to learn, I'd love to teach you. I teach down here in Blacksburg. I also teach up towards Northern Virginia, so if anyone has any interest about that, just let me know. Alright. Any other questions?
Where do you scuba dive most?
Mostly, I spend a fair amount of time down on the Keys. This spring break, I'm going to be out teaching a class on a boat in the Bahamas, and then also doing a lot of wreck dives in North Carolina, and I'm working on cave diving in Florida. Anything else?
What made you get into cave diving?
She's right next door. Yeah, all of them. I moved here, and they all cave dive. And I had already been interested in wreck diving and doing wreck penetration, so it kind of transferred pretty easily. So once I found out all of them were into it, I was like, all right, well, I gotta give it a try.
You ever find anything?
I've not been to a full cave dive yet, so I've only done the partial one, so it's mostly just been, wet rocks. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you all very much for listening.
Good job.
Okay. Good luck with this thing, man.
I might.